Good afternoon, all. Today, I'm going to record some special conversations in Nepal. You all guys are waiting for. That is fintech, event, networking, and then I have a wonderful personality here, Mr. Naveen Bharadwaj, and then Group CEO of Trescon Group. Mr. Naveen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Namaste.
तपाईँलाई स्वागत छ हाम्रो कार्यक्रममा
कस्तो हुनुहुन्छ?
सन्चै छु yeah thank you
Thank you. Very nice to be here, Raju.
and then Naveen, as we are a neighboring country,
Yeah.
the only country in the world without borders, you know that
So that shows we are a family. We are not
Yeah.
two countries. We are one family.
family, yeah, we don't have a borders.
Yes.
That is the wonderful things about Nepal and India.
100%.
And then I would like to thank you very much for providing us your valuable time. You are busy, I know that.
Likewise.
But
I thank you for your time as well.
Mr. Naveen, I want to go back from this, start how you started Trescon, how you visioned it, and then how you build a global empire.
Thank you. Interestingly, I didn't build it. I was fortunate enough to inherit it at some point and continue building it. Trescon started in 2016 in India. Three of our friends and a few other people came together. Our chairman, Muhammad Salim, one of the founding partners and vice chairmen, Mithun Shetty, one of the managing directors, Swarnava Roy, who came together initially, and then Madhukar Dudda, who's also one of our managing directors. They built the Trescon Foundation since 2016, and we just, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary, a decade of connecting businesses with opportunities, a decade of creating economic impact and value across the Middle East, Africa, Asia, South Asia region. I came into Trescon at the beginning of 2023, and prior to my time, what had happened was Trescon, which was a startup at its beginning, was running the World Startup Expo, which was the Asian region's largest startup community event. Trescon also went on to launch the World AI Show, the World Blockchain Summit, which became amongst the world's longest running AI, blockchain, and digital asset event series, which have gone beyond 30 odd countries. So in Asia, in Europe, here North America, Africa, and here, of course, in the Middle East, many people are actually strong participants and followers of these events. We started focusing heavily on launching, conceptualizing, launching, managing, and successfully delivering slightly larger scale governmental events, which are aligned to the government mandates. That happen here in the UAE, that's happening in India, that's happening in Indonesia. We have some conversations now happening in Kenya, in Mauritius, in Saudi Arabia. So during the course of this discussion, I think I'll get a chance to talk more about that. So this is the collective effort of the hundreds of employees that we currently have and a few others that we had in the past, and their effort in making sure that our events are not just one-off affairs, but they become true melting points for relevant communities and ecosystems to come together, to partner with each other, do business with each other, and make sure that collectively they're helping advance the industry. The goal is simple. Don't host an event for the sake of hosting an event. Host an event because it can add value to the country, it can add value to the industry, it can add value to the economy as a whole. So then that empire goes beyond just your employees, and you have the community and friends such as yourselves who also become a part of that empire. So we own that empire.
So you are organizing this wonderful events. Not only events, you have often spoken that it's a momentum.
Yeah.
How you elaborated momentum?
Definitely. You carefully chose the word momentum. I think it's important that we create momentum, because only when there's momentum, everybody wants to come together and march forward. If you look at the type of topics that we run our events in, or we help our government partners launch their events in, these are not topics of yesterday. These are not the topics that are old school. We are talking about the future. We are talking about emerging technologies. We are talking about carbon emission and climate change, so tomorrow becomes better. We are talking about skill development and capacity building, so tomorrow's economy is envisioned and the talent that is needed for tomorrow is created today. we're talking about the future of policing, not the yesteryears of policing. So pretty much everything that we're doing is focusing on what needs to happen today to have a better tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate enough, I would say, that our government partners, our government supporters, and our industry partners, be it here in the UAE, back home in India, or in countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Mauritius, Kenya, Saudi Arabia, they have all entrusted us either by partnering with our events because they believed that our vision aligns with theirs, or they gave us the chance to launch events aligned with their national economic policies, right?
Okay.
Somebody has a Vision 2030, somebody has a D33 agenda, somebody has a Vision 2045, Golden Vision 2045, and they see our events as enablers. They see our events as platforms, as you said, people meeting together, ideas being exchanged, potential partnerships being discussed, capital and investment being committed, government being able to get inputs on various policies, regulations, industry development, and the support that the industry needs. Industry and enterprises getting opportunities to meet with their colleagues and peers so they know what the other companies are doing instead of having a pure competitive mindset, actually having this mindset of peer exchange, and then catching up with large established companies or startups who can solve their current problems, startups getting funding, media getting access to the knowledge as well. So you see, all of this, what's happening is it's a snowball effect. So that's the momentum that we're talking about. And I think you are from Nepal, so you know how an avalanche or a snowball can create an impact. But in a positive sense here, that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create force, a collective force that can work towards the larger economic vision and national priorities, regional priorities, and industry priorities.
I would like to talk about the governments and global connectivity through the events, right? What you are doing right now. So, as a South Asian country, Nepal also looking for global connectivity,
Definitely.
global business influence,
Yeah.
right? And then Nepal is also promoting IT entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So, connecting with the Trescons, how these our peoples can be benefited through
Sure.
this, sir?
Because you mentioned government, I think firstly, congratulations are in order for the new leader, the new prime minister that Nepal chose. I think that shows the sentiment of the country. You brought a young mid-30s person. You entrusted the administration, the leadership of the country to that person. I think that was very much needed because it sends a very powerful message to the rest of the world. There's something interesting, right? So I come from Bangalore in Karnataka. I think your prime minister either studied in Karnataka or somewhere in India, or somewhere in India, right?
He got the engineering degree and he studied
Correct.
somewhere. I forgot the name of the university in
yeah.
Indian university.
Exactly. I think it's Karnataka, but I might be wrong. It might be somewhere else in India as well. So I think that the point I was trying to make is, so when you have a young dynamic leader, when you have a country that has young and dynamic population, people such as yourselves, few things. One, there are those that step out of the country and proactively look for what's happening in other parts of the world and either retain that knowledge or bring that knowledge back to the country. But then there are also those, the large majority, who don't necessarily have the opportunity, the means, or the luxury or the privilege to travel out. So that's why I personally feel that by design, the government, you also mentioned earlier about the bilateral affair, right? So the events that we are either running or managing, let's say the Dubai FinTech Summit, which is organized by DIFC, which is a government initiative, a mandate here, which is part of the Dubai Future Finance Week that brings together 20,000 odd people this November here in Dubai, or the World Police Summit that we run, that we manage the content for in partnership with DXB Live and the government partner Dubai Police, or some of the new initiatives that we are launching, or the Bengaluru Skill Summit that we are running for the Karnataka government, or a couple of other initiatives that we are running as Trescon. Now imagine like this, there are a lot of other initiatives and events that are also happening in different parts of the world. Exactly. So based on Nepal's national priorities, based on Nepal's current demands, based on the mood and sentiment of the country, the government can systematically plan leadership level delegations to events like these.
Okay.
take relevant community members so they go meet with their peers. Now, if it's a Dubai FinTech Summit, banks, fintech companies, investment communities from Nepal can come and meet not just the people of the UAE, because the Dubai FinTech Summit boasts of having more than 120 nationalities participating. So you've got governors, you've got ministers, you've got large global banking CEOs, you've got fintech unicorn founders and CEOs participating, you've got investors from different parts of the world, you've got startups coming as well. So coming, spending time with them, having conversations, understanding what's happening in other parts of the world, how Nepali community, the banking, financial, and the fintech community can collaborate with them, how some ideas can go into Nepal, perhaps funding can go into Nepal, perhaps Nepal's fintech startups can get access and exposure, grants and subsidies, expansion support, so on and so forth. It's just one example. Now imagine if Nepal is able to do this across multiple folds, going to different regions, going to UK, going to the Americas, going to Africa, India, of course. I think India and Nepal are brothers, I would say. So coming to events in India and then discovering how every event that you participate becomes an opportunity for bilateral exchange, for collaboration, for strategic partnerships, and for co-creation. That's one bit. The other bit is how can then Nepal also come up with a few of its own national initiatives that happen in Nepal.
Okay.
Right? Maybe a finance week for Nepal. Maybe a policing week for Nepal. Maybe a fintech summit for Nepal. Maybe an AI festival for Nepal. Maybe something to do with skill development. Maybe something to do on energy. Maybe something to do on things, tourism. Right? So many different options. But again, not just hosting events for the sake of hosting events, but carefully linking these events to national priorities and making them platforms to achieve your economic vision. I think that's, it's easier said than done. So, but that's how I see events playing a role in Nepal's growth journey.
I would like to connect on 3-4 topics, as you said, that is energy, fintech, banking, tourism.
Yes.
Which is Nepal's most prioritized sector.
Yes.
For now.
Yes.
And then obviously for the future as well. Right. So and in this regards, right, how Nepal can be a part, can do partnership with the Trescons and then build that network and then execute it.
It may not be a surprise to you. We've had a few Nepali colleagues in our team in the past. I'm not sure currently if we have anybody working with us, but in the past, we've had quite a few Nepalis that have worked in our teams. How can Nepal partner with us? I think, again, two folds. One, events that we are hosting in those different countries that I talked about. In fact, I also took the name of a few events, right? Through friends such as you who can become the bridge with the larger Nepali community, we could focus on bringing the Nepali senior governmental and business leadership. We can look at bringing the Nepali business community, their delegations, their pavilions, their participation, etc. at our events across. Currently, a majority of our events are across the Miasa region. So participation can happen. So that's coming out of Nepal. And then the other thing is, how can we collectively work together in importing some of these ideas into Nepal? How can we deliver those events from our Indian office? Maybe eventually down the lane, there is so much momentum that we have created, we set up an office in Nepal. So we teach Nepalis how business events are run, how international business events are run in other parts of the world, and then bring the same level to Nepal. But all of that boils down to the government support, the government's alignment, community support, community alignment, and working on Nepal's grand vision.
Thank you. It's a wonderful thoughts. And then coming to the Dubai FinTech Summit, said. So how you are envisioning that so many Nepalese startups are eager to take a part in Dubai FinTech Summit, right? So can you elaborate that? What are the benefits that they can get? What are the opportunity they can get, right, to being a part of the Dubai FinTech Summit, which is very near to come?
Definitely. So the Dubai FinTech Summit, for those that may or may not be fully familiar with, it's organized by DIFC. It was conceptualized in 2022. So now, as you can imagine, it's in its fourth edition as Dubai FinTech Summit. It's held under the high patronage of His Highness Sheikh Maktoum bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is the deputy ruler of Dubai, the deputy prime minister of the country, the finance minister, as well as the president of DIFC, the organizer of the event. Trescon has been blessed with the opportunity of working with DIFC since 2022, launching this summit and managing this summit. It's now become a part of the Dubai Future Finance Week. Dubai FinTech Summit will be the anchor piece where more than 10,000 people from the 120 odd countries, or more than 120 countries that I talked about, come together. The goal is to advance financial innovation. The goal is to make sure that fintech becomes available for all and a means to solve several of the financial challenges in and around the world. Specifically talking about startups, a couple of years ago, we launched the FinTech World Cup, which is a startup competition where we conduct regional qualifiers in various parts of the world. One startup that qualifies from each of the regions gets a fully funded startup pod at the Dubai FinTech Summit. So they don't need to pay to participate. They don't need to spend money on getting their startup pod. We cover that expense for them. And then they come and pitch in the grand finale in front of the, not just a jury, but a large community of investors who could be private equity firms, venture capitalists, family offices, representatives of high net worth individuals, corporate venture capitalists, as well as retail investors that are keen in exploring and investing into fintech. So your Nepali startups can possibly participate in one of the regional qualifiers. Maybe with your support, we can host a regional qualifier exclusive for Nepal. So you create more excitement amongst the audience. That's one part. Second thing is startups can take up their exhibition space at Dubai FinTech Summit. They can exhibit, they can sponsor if they're funded, if they're raising capital, so on and so forth. Maybe your government can subsidize that for them. Maybe the central bank, maybe the one of the other governmental institutions, or even a private sector institution would sponsor a handful of startups to come to Dubai. Maybe there can be a nice Nepali pavilion where you have 10-15 fintech startups from Nepal showcasing the the dynamic financial innovation and fintech ecosystem of Nepal, and then putting Nepal on the fintech map, which may or may not be the case as of right now, but it can become the case with Dubai FinTech Summit. And for those that may not qualify in the competition, or they might not have participated, for those that may or may not have the means to, let's say, sign up for the pods or the exhibition space, they can always participate as delegates. They can come, experience, meet with the industry, understand what's happening around them, and start planning for future. Right? So these are just a few ways, but I think if where there is a will, there is a way. So if the community wants to participate, there are so many different options to make the participation happen.
Obviously, I will be focusing to that part as well after returning to the Kathmandu, and then we will have a interaction with them as well.
Definitely.
Right? And then obviously, I will brief your vision to them.
Sure.
As well. Thank you for this. And then talking about the futures. Right. How the events are important to shaping any countries, communities, or any enterprise future.
Ecosystems and communities are driving the future of their respective countries' economies, or their industries' economies, or the regional economies. So events become that living, breathing, physical platform for them to come together, meet annually or meet periodically, so that momentum is retained. Because what happens, we are all so busy in our day-to-day lives, we all go on and go about doing our own things. But when we meet at events like these, we start understanding what are the trends out there, what is the changing dynamics, what is the shift that the region of the globe is taking, what could be today's solutions that become tomorrow's problems, what could be opportunities to solve tomorrow's problems that we can start working together on today. So one is the knowledge sharing, the thought leadership, the benchmarking piece. Second is you again start gaining access, be it to the policymakers, be it to the industry itself, the enterprises, the future enterprises that we're talking about, because a lot of the large companies also suffer from incumbents. So they struggle to adapt and change immediately because they're not startups. They are built on legacy systems, legacy tools, legacy processes, legacy thought process, legacy workflows, which is not bad because that was the foundation, that was the principle, fundamental of their businesses. But what happens? The world is changing too fast. They need to adapt. They need to change themselves. They need to know, again, if my business was built at a time when the average age of the world was 45, and today the average age of the world is 30, and then you have lots and lots of digital natives, it's important that I transform my business. Otherwise, I'm I'm a dinosaur, right? So again, those enterprises coming and discovering possible solutions, possible tools, technologies, partnerships, consultants, changes, policies that needs to be reshaped or shaped to help them. Then investors getting opportunities into startups or growth scale companies, consortiums, associations, industry bodies getting formed. All of this and a lot more happens during an event. But as I said, all of that is forward looking. While events talk about case studies, while events celebrate what has happened in the past, a large majority of the focus is always on what's happening tomorrow. I think post COVID, the events industry got even more celebration than it did just before COVID. Because between 2015 to 2020, there was saturation and events were just a run-of-the-mill affair, and there was no novelty, there was no uniqueness, there was too many events happening everywhere, and people started slowly having that event fatigue, as we call it. COVID was unfortunate, but for the industry's sake, I think after that, people started realizing why it is important to have that human connection, why it is important to have those events, why we need to participate, why we need to go, why we need to shake hands, because it creates a very different impact to our respective businesses. And Raju, I think you can relate to it because you have attended a lot of our events yourself, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
that
Okay. Do you think that the massive implementation of AI cutting human jobs and everything, but do you think the events will take place by AI, or it will the events importance of events will grow up in future?
It's all interlinked. I think AI as a topic, we run the World AI Show. We also had the good fortune of launching and running the Dubai AI Festival for 2 years. We no longer run it, but AI impacts every industry today. You can be in space, you can be in biotech, you can be in metals, minerals, mining, you can be in media, you can be in agriculture, you can be in tourism. It is impacting every industry. So the events industry will also be impacted positively, right? If your question was, will AI replace events? I don't think it can. I personally don't think it can. If the day when AI can have this kind of an interaction and it is all human in nature and you can't realize it is AI, is the day we need to be worried. But you will see more and more that people are talking about, forget about the doomsday unnecessary scenario that people are positioning, focus on the practical use cases of AI. For the events industry, AI is being used for intelligent matchmaking. AI is being used for networking. AI is used for on-site attendee experience enhancement. Simple things, when you go to large events, you take photos, the organizer takes photos, and it used to take many days to get the access to photos, and sometimes never, right? But now with the help of AI, those photos can be uploaded online, and instantly you can, even if there is 100,000 photos and you are only featured in 4, AI can quickly sift that through and give you those 4.
Yes.
Right? AI is being used in mobile apps. AI is being used for recommending potential sessions. Again, I'm just keeping this conversation very specific to events, right? So AI is quite nicely complementing the events industry in the foreground, and in the background, be it your event briefs, your product briefs, your agenda vetting, your market intelligence and knowledge, your press releases, so on and so forth. AI may not do everything for you, but AI can help you do things faster. You set the direction, it can help you. It becomes your true assistant who's helping you become more efficient, to be able to do more, to be able to increase your productivity and your output. So I think for the events industry, there's a significant opportunity with AI, just like how all other industries stand to gain. And AI events, you'll see that there's so many AI events now, right?
Yeah.
So people want to go there and discover, how do I, not just industries, individuals, how do I make use of AI? How can it impact my personal life? How do I automate my day-to-day mundane tasks, so on and so forth. So I think future of AI seems incredible. The pace at which things are changing is enormous, beyond what we all imagined. I think we all don't have a choice but to learn, onboard ourselves, and become buddies with our assistant AI.
Yes, yes, thank you. And then, Mr. Naveen, I'm almost concluding these conversations. So, where you see the next decade with Trescon?
I think we are, interesting question. The first decade was all about proving to ourselves, proving to our key partners our ability, our worth, building the core teams. We have a solid core team, and I think kudos to the teams, because Trescon is nothing but the collective output of all our team members, various departments that work for us. So the next decade is going to be innovating the way we've been running our business, again with the power of AI, automation, whatnot, with the power of the human intelligence. How can we do things better, faster? How do we do more and more events aligned with governments? How do we launch new impactful initiatives that become national priorities, that policy that probably becomes part of the national policies, become part of the national agenda? Again, clearly steering away from doing events for the sake of doing events, and doing events because it is going to solve a lot of the problems. It is going to help a country or help a region or help an industry become better, grow, and you're able to have that measurable, tangible outcomes from those events. So I think the next decade for us will pretty much steer in that direction. But emerging technologies, sustainability, energy, uh, skill development, policing, and security. Space is an interesting topic that we're exploring, and anything to do related to these topics will remain our priorities.
Okay. Mr. Naveen, thank you for your precious time and the wonderful conversations, which is almost a goosebump conversations.
Great.
And then talking about the collaboration with Nepal and Nigeria. And pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you very much for your time as well, and thank you for having me in your show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for watching these wonderful conversations with the group CEO of Trescon, Mr. Naveen Bharadwaj, who is very energetic and then a forward-thinking person. I hope you like it, and let's connect, let's interact, and then be a part of the events initiated by Trescon. Thank you for watching.